Welcome to the MIB podcast, where we help you chase your dreams side by side. And now, your hosts, Mike and Talia Osborne.
What's up? This is Mike.
And Talia.
You're listening to the
MIB podcast.
Married and in Business. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 65 degrees here in Maine.
65. That's like in Florida weather, like 900. It's
We went outside for the first time with no coats. It's pretty awesome.
T-shirts. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like streaking weather. It's so nice outside right now. But just to do a little bit of house cleaning.
We would love it if you guys would follow us on facebook.com/MIB podcast or go to us at our website, themibpodcast.com. If you have any questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you. info@themibpodcast.com.
This is going to be fun. It's going to be episode number 7, and it's called
Married and the Accidental Facebook Store.
This is going to be a lot of fun. We talked about this a little bit in episode 3 if you want to go catch back on our story. But this one's going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot to this. We had a lot of fun accidentally creating a business out of nothing, really.
Yeah. It actually came from the trouble that we had that we talked about in episode 2 and 3. And so, we just want you guys to know that out of adversity comes seeds of greatness when you put your mind to a solution.
Yeah. And out of every adversity comes a seed of equal or greater benefit. That was Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. So if you ever want to read that. Episode 6, just do a little recap, was about the married and knowing your role and sometimes shutting your mouth. Just if anybody wants to go check that out, it's a great episode, I think. A lot of fun with that one. But today is going to be all about building a Facebook business, basically reselling on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. It's basically something that anybody can start
tomorrow,
or today. Right now, if you want to. It was very lucrative for us. It was now lucrative for somebody else today. We actually sold the business, and man, it was a lot of fun doing it and it was perfect timing. Like I said, out of the adversity, something great came up. The greatest ideas come when you really, really need them. So yeah, it was a lot.
So, what we came up with, it takes time and suppliers, but it's really simple to do. You can literally do this from home. Even if you have a limited budget, this is kind of perfect for anybody in that situation. So it doesn't take, a massive group of friends or a group of people to have big success, but, we're going to walk through the steps and kind of tell you how we got to the point of building this business and the steps that we actually took to make it work. Yeah.
So, just to recap a little bit, episode 3, our business gets shut down. But we have an Amazon business, and it's all of our income, and we're feeding every dollar we have into it to grow into this $1 million company and rule the world and all that stuff. When you keep doing that, all the money goes away after they stop paying you. And thanks to somebody lying that we sold a counterfeit item, we had no business at the time. Which was very at the time it was in investigation. I'm sorry. It was like in review.
Yeah.
And this review took like 2 months.
Yeah.
So
the longest 2 months ever.
Yeah. So just a little recap. So our business was shut down. We couldn't sell on Amazon at the time. We literally had to figure out something to do. And luckily same thing, a little recap, we had a warehouse at the time that we were renting, and based off just excess inventory of stuff that we were purchasing, we couldn't do it, or returned items and things like that. We had a lot of stuff that we just couldn't sell.
Yep.
Right. So we are having these weekly yard sales at our warehouse, and they're going pretty well.
Yeah, they were going really well. And so, we had already created a Facebook page, and that's where we would let people know, like when we would have a sale on the weekend, they could come up and see us there, or we could set up pickups through our Facebook page. So we had slowly begun to grow our Facebook group. And, we're not going to name the Facebook group because it's now owned by someone else, and we don't want to step on her toes.
Yeah, respect her privacy.
Yeah, but they are doing amazing. I'm super proud of them. But yeah, so it turned into a really great way to sell merchandise. So
funny thing, it wasn't like perfect either. It wasn't like we were sitting there right next to Walmart and we had, guys flipping signs out there,
Yeah.
getting, come here, shop here now, big neon signs.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we were in a warehouse, like industrial park.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had 2 parking spots total. We only were allowed to do this on Saturday because of the too much traffic. Not limited parking. I'm sorry.
Right.
So I mean, limited parking, no signage. We're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you literally couldn't on GPS. You couldn't find it.
Yeah.
On
the
a
GPS would take people to the wrong place. So it was quite a pain to get people to come there. So once we decided to go ahead and shut down the warehouse, we still needed a way to make money since our account was basically frozen with Amazon and in review. So we moved everything back into our garage, and then we still, kept our Facebook page intact.
At that time, we tried to liquidate everything we had. So we had very little actually left at the house. We had brought with us half a dozen boxes full of stuff that, more or less donation type thing. So we literally had to reinvent a business. We had nothing to go from. So after we moved back into our house, like Ty was saying, we literally had to figure out something. So our account eventually came out of review went, I guess, into official review in February, where we were allowed to send items in to help fulfill our Amazon lending loan, but we weren't going to make any money from any of the stuff.
Yeah, but we would not get paid on anything we sold. Yeah,
but we still needed to maintain a velocity of business where we were going to pay the loan off. That was ugly. But literally, we had to figure out something. I had a supplier that I was using. I was buying Walmart return lots from. It was 2 hours north of where we lived. And at the time, it was either me or Talia would do this. We'd take my pickup truck, drive 2 hours north. Usually I had a baby seat next to me and a booster seat, 3 and 1 year old at the time, or actually 6 months old. I'm sorry.
She wasn't even 1.
Yeah. We drive 2 hours north, put 2 pallets in the truck, literally carrying the baby seat around this warehouse. Picked 2 pallets, didn't really know what was in it, but I could kind of like on Storage Wars, where you kind of look outside and say, I know I could sell this, this, this. And, once you learn how to resell, you kind of figure out the value of things pretty quick, right? So I'd buy stuff, I'd bring it all the way home, I'd chop it up, chop up all the boxes, put all the things into different boxes, whether it be a garbage can, which because it was drunk, or I put it into boxes to resell on Amazon or resell local. So that's what we eventually did. That was like my process. I did that every week. And immediately, we were trying to figure out what to do. So I'm like, well, let's put them up for sale on our Facebook group. We had a few hundred customers at the time. It was 300, something like that.
Yeah.
But they're literally people that we shook hands with probably at least, they bought something from us.
At least one time.
If they didn't shake our hand. There was commerce being done, right? So we literally had this group of a decent amount of people. So I'm like, let's put stuff up there. But we found out pretty quick that stuff would just get buried.
Mm-hmm.
As
you would post on the Facebook page, the first item you posted, and it's now at the very bottom of the page, and nobody goes that far on the page. So we were missing sales on those items because nobody was seeing them. So, my husband, being as amazing as he is, he's what I call the idea guy. He came up with the idea that we should just start going live on our Facebook page. And that way people can see the sale, just kind of like a LuLaRoe or something like that, like they do. But they would see, the sale, we would promote it, and hopefully get a bunch of sales from that.
Yeah. So literally, remember, we're broke, and this is a private page, so we couldn't market to get anybody to our event. So literally, we did the best we probably could. So the same thing. I'd go and buy the packages, the stuff. I'd send in everything to Amazon. It cost $300, $400 a pallet. And then we'd get it back home, and we'd have the stuff left. We'd say Thursday night, 7 p.m., we're going to have a live sale. And we kept promoting it. And Talia had a pretty good idea about how to get more people to the page, right?
So I joined every local selling page that I could. So your yard sale pages, your trash to treasure, your business to business sales pages, anything that had to do with local sales that I knew I could get onto and be able to talk about my group, I did. And so I would go on and I would just, some of them you have to ask permission because they're kind of weird about that kind of stuff. But I just said, all I'm doing is, just promoting my group to see if anybody wants to join it. So they would in most cases, they allowed me to do that. And then I would get new people joining our page from there. And then every time we had a sale, I would also promote that sale on those pages as well.
Yeah, we'd take pictures of a whole bunch of different items, usually like in big groups. But we always had one big item in the picture that everybody was crazy about. Like at the time, it was like Hatchimals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these wrestling action figures, a lot of toys we dealt with a lot. And so we always had something big in there that would always be good. So like I said, I invested like $300-400 in a pallet, right? And then we try to get two. Sometimes we only got one, depending on the availability. But we had our first live sale. It took a couple hours, and literally, boom, made back all the money in cash that day.
Yep.
So to give you guys a picture of how powerful this is, I sold a bunch of items on Amazon, and those items brought me usually my $300 back plus another $400 in profit. So, I mean, we're already 400 in the green. Then it would also give me back my in cash from the people, the other $300-400 I needed to buy another pallet.
Yep.
So basically every week we use the same money in retrospect to purchase more inventory.
Yep.
So that kept the business going, that way, and it kept going the other way. So it sounds kind of crazy, but it just kept growing and growing after that too, right? I mean, literally it went to 600, then 700, almost 800 people on our group. And every week we started introducing new ideas, like having auctions and lightning sales at the end of each day.
So we'll kind of walk you through what that looked like, but we were selling a couple hundred items a week, and it might have been only a dozen people, maybe a little bit more, sometimes 20, something like that. But we would set up 2 different places and times to meet people, and just so that we weren't running all over town trying to meet people
and you're safe.
Yeah, and
a bunch of people would meet at one time.
Yeah, so we set that up, and it made it really simple and safe and efficient. So that's something that we suggest doing if you're thinking about doing something like this.
Yeah, I mean, to give more highlights on it, like I said, we literally made our money back every week. We made a profit. If Amazon lending wasn't getting all the money back, it would have been still a pretty big business, right?
Yeah.
It was literally, just making money hand over fist. I mean, I think at the time, I don't want to give ugly numbers, but it was a very good full-time income, more than a teacher, less than, an engineer, but very good income for really part-time work.
Yeah.
Right. It was all yours. It was all cash-based, and it was fun. I mean, it really was a lot of fun. We met a lot of new people. People were more like, hugging friends than customers at the end.
Yeah.
And, it was really, it kept things alive pretty good when we had a really rough time in our life when it came to finances. Right. So today, we did sell that company. Back in May, I got offered a job up here in Maine, so we decided to take the job. And I liked it. All right. Well, you go and you talk about that a little bit. I know you want to talk about exactly like. I know this is a lot of information. It's not like it's a little bit of our story and all that. So let's talk about exactly what a live sale would look like. Right?
Yeah. So a day in the life of a live sale on Facebook. Basically, once you got your items back, you decided where you're going to sell each item. You might want to sell some on eBay. You might want to sell some on Amazon, wherever. But the stuff that you want to sell locally, you get it all situated. What we ended up doing, because we tried a couple different systems of labeling the items as far as price, we priced our items anywhere between 50 to 25% of a retail price. And it just depended on how big the item was, what condition it was in, things like that. But what that gave us was an advantage, because people knew that they were going to get the best deals in town, so they came to us.
Yeah.
And so we would price them, and then at the beginning, like I said, we would just say the name of the item. Someone could say the name of the item and say sold during the sale, and that item would be theirs. But what ended up happening was people would see the items, they would know the name of it, and they would say sold before anybody else had a chance to. So you'll get complaints, people saying it's not fair.
Yeah, they get faster internet. And
yeah,
blah, blah,
all
blah.
this stuff. And so there's only so much you can do, but we did what we could to kind of try to accommodate. So what we ended up doing was putting numbers on each item, random 4-digit numbers. That way, nobody would know what it was before it went up. And then, so when someone wanted that item, all they had to do was type in the number of that item, and it would be theirs. Always, we would always write the name of the person who was getting the item. So you're going to need help because it really is a big deal to be trying to run the sale and, mark who got what.
Yeah, so we put a white label on everything. We put a 4-digit number on there, small enough that we could see it, small enough they couldn't. And then when Talia was being Vanna White, I would actually write down the actual person that bought it and for what value they bought it for.
Exactly. So, it makes it really simple when you have someone helping you because they can take care of that part while you're up kind of just talking to everybody. Another really cool thing that we did was in the beginning, just to have some fun and kind of let people get to know us, we would, invite some of our kids in and we do like a little, dance or something at the beginning just for fun. It was just playing music, just waiting for people to come on.
Wearing masquerade masks or literally like lightsaber fights.
Yeah, monkey suits.
Yeah.
We did a lot of different stuff.
A lot of weird stuff. Horse mask, whatever.
But it was really just to fill the time so that people could get on and they wouldn't miss the first couple of items because you want those items to sell. You want all eyes to be on your products.
Yeah.
So
we'd get everybody a text message, Talia up front. So I'd have her phone and say, if you're new here today, we want to talk about pickups and all that. We talk about where and when. And here's our number. Text us right away. That way it's one thing, they treat you more like friends, and they're more likely to answer a text than an email.
They're more likely to show up.
And they're more likely to show up. We don't, there's nothing worse than somebody buying something than they never show up.
Yeah. So, and we would take every chance that we got, we'd do a talk in the beginning, a break in the middle somewhere and something towards the end, because you're going to get people jumping on and jumping off. And so you want to make sure that they understand your rules, whatever you set as the rules. Once one person says it's sold, that's it. You don't want anybody backing out. So you want to make sure that they know that once they say sold, it's theirs. And, if they back out more than, 2 to 3 times, you're going to kick them out of the group. That's basically, just to protect yourself from getting people who say they want something only so they can decide later that they don't.
Yeah.
So then you're stuck with the merchandise.
The lightning deals.
Yep. So once we ran through everything, there were always a couple of things that didn't sell. So the very end, we do lightning deals and we would just drop prices, usually in half or, 25% off, depending on the item. And, try to sell them that way. If they didn't sell, then we would pull them aside and we put them up for auction. And the auction thing came up.
We just wanted everything to go.
Yeah.
The whole thing was we were trying to get our money back out of it to rebuy the pallets the next week.
Yep. But it was, again, Mike's great idea was why don't we just put stuff up for auction? And so when we did that, it was pretty awesome because tell them what happened when you did that.
It was kind of it's almost like a joke, right? Because people could buy something for say $5 at the sale.
Yep.
Then we drop it to $2.50 and they still don't buy it. Right. So then I'm like, well, I'm going to put it up for auction. I put it up for $1. That's like the old eBay trick. Start bidding at 99 cents, let them go. Make it $1. Sure enough, these things were selling for $10, $12, $15.
Yep.
Because the auction war of people just getting on there and going over and over and over. And that was a good way that people saw people. It was weird. Clearly, either way, we were making more money with that than other things too. And so in weeks where we couldn't get a pallet, we still had auction stuff and people were still engaged with the group. And and yeah, it was pretty cool. Now today, the owners of it do a lot of different things, but well, I guess I'll say, we'll go back again a little bit. When I left, I started a new job in June here in Maine. We decided, we found out in May, so I had to leave, which means Talia had to pack a 3,000 square foot house and liquidate our stuff that we had and all the stuff. And it basically made it impossible to keep running the business with 4 kids, packing a house, all that stuff that quickly, because Talia literally did this in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was rough.
And it's a lot of, it really was a lot of work. But we needed to sell the group. And so we ended up finally finding a couple that were customers to purchase the group.
Yep.
And why don't you tell them about how they're doing today?
They're doing freaking amazing. When we sold it to them, I believe we had somewhere around 750 members. And today,
well, that doesn't sound like a lot, right?
Right. It's not a lot, but in that area to capture that many people to watch your sale, I think that's pretty good. 750
people that were within like 10 minutes of where we live.
Exactly.
And all these people were a customer of ours.
Yep. At
some point, and they're all attentive to our sales and all that. So doesn't sound like a lot, but that's very powerful. You know?
When you think about how many sales go through the yard sale sites and things like this, and to think about us having a page of just our customers, nobody else could sell on the page, that's powerful in itself. But, you know, my friend who bought our business from us, her and her husband bought it as kind of a part-time gig. She thought it would be something fun. And she wanted something just, you know, that she could get a little extra cash with. And so they started it, and it grew. And, you know, now they're up to somewhere around just under 2,000 members, and they do live sales still. They're doing great. They're making lots of money. They're doing so good that she actually quit her part-time job.
Well,
her full-time job, and now has made this full-time.
Yeah, she was working third shift at Disney World.
Yep.
And she loved it. She told us right away, I'm not getting rid of that job. I love it. But she found out really quickly that, I guess, you know, being with the customers and making them happy and, you know, doing what we are doing is really, we're offering tons of great, ridiculous deals, like 75 off all the time. It really helping people out, because a lot of people, how many people bought stuff from us in February for Christmas gifts?
Oh my gosh,
you know?
Tons of people.
In March and April for stuff that they couldn't afford. And we were doing a good deed. We're making money. They were helping us. We were equally helping them.
Yep.
And man, today I couldn't be more proud of the people that bought our business, because they're doing so well.
Yeah. And, you know, their hope is that at some point to be able to bring her husband home as well to work with her full time. So I believe that they're going to do it. If you're listening, we love you. We're proud of you. And we can't wait to see the day when he gets to come home with you.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Just to recap, like I said, anybody can do this business. It took us a supplier, some elbow grease, you know, like the marriage between having the opportunity to sell online through an eBay, through an Amazon, as well as locally, it just exponentially makes it so much more easier to make money.
Yeah.
It really does.
And, you know, we didn't finish going through the steps of, you know, actually closing out the sale and stuff like that. So I want to cover that really quickly, and then we'll close.
Go for it.
So we, after the sale is over, you've got, you know, every person's name written on the items that they've gotten. We would say goodnight to everybody, close down the sale, go ahead and separate everybody's items. Then we would contact each person with the list of like each item that they got to make sure it was correct. And because sometimes we would write someone's name on something that they really didn't want, or they really didn't say. And so we just wanted to be 100% sure. So we would send them the list and the total amount. And then we would ask them, where would you like to meet us? This place or this place? Only give 2 locations and 2 times, because otherwise they will have you running around town trying to find them. And that's not fair to you.
I want to give you my $3, please, you know?
Yeah. So
let me drive 30 minutes away so I can give you $3.
Right. So we would set up a location that was close to home, either at our home or not far from it. And we would also set a place that was further north from where we live. And so we set up those 2 locations, and generally everybody showed up. Of course, you have stragglers, you know, here and there, but you always work it out. And so once that's done, once they tell you where you're going to meet them, you go meet them those days, those times, and then you get your money and do the cycle all over again.
Yeah.
And it's generally maybe 2 days of work. 2 days of work. So you got to think, what's your time worth? Is this worth your time? I don't know. Something for you to figure out.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very easily a good full-time income if you can find the right supplier.
Yes,
which is very important. This isn't like anything we buy new or anything like we sell it on eBay or Amazon right now. We're not we don't do this anymore personally, based off our location. Mainly.
We don't have a supplier.
There's not a population here in Maine, but yeah, supplier. We had a good supplier at the time. We knew that we could buy the items for like $1, more or less per item. You know, a pallet would hold 100, 200 items, sometimes less, depending on
size and all that.
But, you know, we did figure out pretty quickly that if you have the right, you know, supplier, you get in front of the right customers, and you, like I said, just use your network easily up front locally to build your group, and then have little contests, things like that. Make sure you can get the word out of that you have these ridiculous deals. Use Talia's method of you going into the different groups to grow your group more and more and more. And this is a very long-term way to make money.
Yeah.
And it feels good. You know, it feels good to make money every freaking day, right?
Cash in hand.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's like that adrenaline rush of making money. And you're like, that works. So just make sure, like I said, you got to have a supplier. You got to have, you have to be willing to try to build a group. Like I said, ours wasn't really hard because we had already started doing it. And you have to, you know, be willing to meet in a safe location a couple times a week for everybody, the big group, to pick up your stuff. And you can have a very big and burly and, big profitable Facebook page.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to put in the time and the effort and be wise about your decisions, you will be successful with this. We're thinking of putting together a course explaining like all the details in depth, and we want to hear from you to see if you would be interested in something like that.
Yeah, you can either go on our Facebook page at facebook.com/MIB podcast, or just shoot us an email, info@themibpodcast.com. We'd love to hear from you. We just want to know if it's even something people are interested in. But literally, it was something that we built in a couple right out of the gate, luckily, because we had already had a Facebook group from our other business, our warehouse, that right out of the gate, we're profitable. Day one, boom, hitting the streets, making tons of money.
Yeah.
And we want that for you if you want it. So, we want to definitely hear from you if you're interested in us putting something together. If not, then we won't. But we hope you get something from this, because literally the whole point of this podcast sometimes is just to get you thinking outside the box as an entrepreneur. Take something we had and say, I can make it better. Yeah, that's okay.
Or if you already have your own products, go live on your Facebook page. Sell those products right there. You don't always have to use the internet, or your web-based store, or, a local store to sell your products. You can be the face of your products right there on Facebook, letting your customers know who you are, what you have for them, and get them to spread the word.
Yeah. So, people looked at you every week. Talia became the face of the brand at the time. Look at Jared from Subway, pioneer woman right now, from the Walmarts and stuff like that. And I think it's like, it's powerful. You're creating your own brand, and let's see what you guys do with that.
All right. So we look forward to hearing any success stories you've had. Again, we want to hear about, we've talked about in the past, your success with goal setting and seeing if you're reaching your goals and setting goals and all that.
We showed you how to make money with no money on episode 5.
We want to hear if you've done that
before.
And so, reach out to us, let us know how you're doing, and we look forward to hearing your success.
We appreciate you guys. We love you. Thank you so much for listening today. And we hope we have a little bit of part in your success over this next coming week.
Holla!
Take care. Love you guys.